we'd lost Amber.
It was my worst nightmare.
She was saved by an elephant.
There's a big tiger shark up there. I'm sorry, I love you too.
At the brave efforts of the dolphins, the shark breaks through the cordon, attacking Todd for the third time.
Here are 10 incredible animals that stepped in to save human lives when it was needed most. Trust me, as you watch, these unforgettable rescues will leave you speechless. At number 1, Sasha. You've likely heard of heroes like firefighters stepping in, but this time it's a pit bull making the rescue. Unbelievable, right? In the early hours of the morning, a fire broke out in a California family's apartment. The smoke and flames spread quickly, but luckily, Sasha, the family's pit bull, was there to make sure they didn't sleep through it. Sasha barked furiously, repeatedly, until she woke up Nana Chai, the mother of the house. But Sasha didn't stop there. Realizing the danger wasn't just for her owners, Sasha grabbed Nana Chai's baby and carried her off the bed, moving her to safety. Pit bulls like Sasha often get unfairly labeled as dangerous, but the truth is, these dogs were historically known as nanny dogs. They were adored for their gentleness and protective instincts around children. They just need to be trained with love and care.
If she wasn't there, I probably would have been asleep and would not have known anything.
At number 2, Binty. A small boy fell into a zoo, and just when things seemed hopeless, something unbelievable happened. In August 1996, visitors at the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago witnessed a scene straight out of a movie. A 3-year-old boy accidentally tumbled 18 feet into the gorilla enclosure, landing hard and suffering a serious head injury. Panic rippled through the crowd. Everyone braced for the worst. After all, gorillas are known to be fiercely territorial. But then, something incredible happened. Binty, a female western lowland gorilla, approached the unconscious child.
We respect these animals and treat these animals as the wild animals that they are.
Instead of reacting aggressively, she did something no one expected. With a mother's tenderness, she carefully picked up the boy and cradled him in her arms. The tension in the air was unbearable as she calmly carried him about 60 feet across the exhibit. She headed straight toward a service door where zoo workers and medics were anxiously waiting. In that heart-stopping moment, Binty didn't just save a life. She shattered long-standing fears about gorilla behavior. Her protective instincts kicked in when it mattered most, leaving everyone, both at the zoo and across the world, absolutely stunned. At number 3, a girl rescued from kidnappers. Just when danger was closing in, these powerful creatures stepped in, turning the tables. In 2005, deep in rural Ethiopia, a harrowing story unfolded, one that sounds almost too unbelievable to be true. A 12-year-old girl had been abducted by 7 men who held her captive for over a week in a brutal attempt to force her into marriage. During her ordeal, she endured repeated beatings and assaults, with no way to escape and no one coming to her rescue. But fate had other plans. Out of nowhere, 3 lions appeared from the surrounding wilderness. Rather than attacking the girl, as many would fear, the big cats turned their attention toward the kidnappers. In a stunning twist, the lions charged at the men, frightening them enough to make them flee into the bush. Even more incredible, the lions didn't leave the terrified girl behind. They stayed with her, standing guard like silent protectors for nearly half a day. They kept watch over her until local police and her family arrived to find her alive, shaken but safe. Authorities later remarked that it was nothing short of a miracle. In a place where lions are typically feared as predators, these majestic animals chose to become her unlikely saviors instead. At number 4, Tsunami vs. 8-year-old girl.
8-year-old Amber is on the beach.
I really thought the worst. I thought that we'd lost Amber.
It was my worst nightmare.
She was saved by an elephant.
In the blink of an eye, this elephant made a move that would change everything. In 2004, when the devastating tsunami hit Thailand, 8-year-old Amber Mason was right in the middle of it. As the wave came crashing in, she was caught off guard and tossed into the chaos. But in an unbelievable twist, Amber was saved by an unlikely hero, an elephant.
Anyone saved my life.
As the first wave struck, this incredible elephant didn't hesitate. It spotted Amber and immediately ran toward her, scooping her onto its back. With surprising speed and strength, the elephant charged toward higher ground, carrying Amber to safety. But the elephant didn't stop there. When a second wave rushed in, it turned its massive body, creating a barrier between Amber and the water. It stood its ground, shielding the young girl from the deadly force of the ocean. Amber's family later credited the elephant with saving her life. Without the elephant's quick thinking, Amber would have been swept away, separated from her family in the violent surge of the waves. The elephant's calm and protective instincts in the face of nature's fury kept Amber safe. In a moment when everything seemed lost, this amazing animal stepped in, proving that sometimes our most unlikely saviors come from the wildest places. Next at number 5, porpoises and actor Dick Van Dyke. In this story, the true hero wasn't the actor, but the porpoises who stepped in to save the day. In an unbelievable but heartwarming moment, legendary American actor Dick Van Dyke shared a life-saving story on The Craig Ferguson Show.
And I started seeing fins swimming around me, and I thought, I'm dead.
As a young man, Van Dyke was out surfing the waves off the coast of Virginia, enjoying the peaceful rhythm of the ocean. He had relaxed on his surfboard and, in the calm, drifted off to sleep. When he woke up, he was disoriented and terrified. The shore was nowhere in sight. Alone in the vast ocean, he started paddling, hoping to find his way back. But then, something strange and unexpected happened. As he paddled, he saw fins circling him in the water. At first, he feared the worst, but what he didn't know was that he had a pod of porpoises keeping him company. The gentle creatures swam beside him, nuzzling his board and nudging him in the right direction. It wasn't long before Van Dyke realized that these friendly porpoises weren't just nearby. They were guiding him back to shore. Slowly but surely, they helped him paddle back to safety until the land was finally within reach. Van Dyke later credited the porpoises with saving his life that day, offering him the kind of protection no one could ever expect from the ocean's wildlife. Number 6. Pig and his owner.
I was very lightheaded and very dizzy.
The next thing she knew, she was on the floor, writhing in pain.
Now, you might have heard dogs saving their owners from any medical emergency, but here we have got a pig. Crazy, right? So what happened was, one afternoon, Joanne Altsman suddenly collapsed on her kitchen floor, her heart giving way without warning. Alone and struggling to breathe, she was in desperate need of help, but there was no one around.
And I kept calling for help, and nobody was coming.
Her husband was away, and with each passing minute, her chances of survival grew slimmer. What happened next would defy all expectations. Her savior wasn't a human, but a pot-bellied pig named Lulu. In a remarkable act of courage, Lulu didn't hesitate. Using every ounce of her strength, the 150-pound pig squeezed her body through the small dog door, scraping her stomach in the process. But that wasn't all. Lulu somehow managed to open the fence gate and waddled into the road, laying down in the middle of traffic, forcing a passing driver to stop and check on her. The Good Samaritan followed Lulu, who led him straight to Joanne. He immediately called for help.
Your pig is in distress out here.
And emergency responders rushed her to the hospital. Doctors later revealed that Joanne wouldn't have survived another 15 minutes without Lulu's quick actions. The family, forever grateful, made a vow never to eat pigs again. Joanne's life was saved that day by an unexpected hero, a pig who acted when no one else could. Next at number 7, Beluga whale saves drowning diver. As the diver's chances grew slimmer, an unexpected hero emerged from the deep. In 2009, at the Polar Land Aquarium in Harbin, China, a simple job application turned into a life-threatening ordeal. Yang Yun, an aspiring whale trainer, was participating in a free diving competition designed to test her skills in freezing cold water. Everything seemed fine until she dove deeper into the tank. Suddenly, she felt a sharp cramp seize her leg. Paralyzed by pain and the numbing cold, Yun realized she couldn't swim back to the surface. Every second felt heavier as her body started sinking, and panic took over. She was trapped underwater, unable to call for help and running out of air fast. That's when Mila, one of the 2 resident beluga whales, noticed something was terribly wrong. Without any command or hesitation, Mila sprang into action. She swam swiftly toward Yun, gently but firmly grabbing her leg in her mouth, a move that could have gone terribly wrong if done by force. But Mila knew exactly what she was doing. With incredible care, she pushed Yun upwards, guiding her limp body back to the surface where others could reach her. In that critical moment, Mila didn't just save a human life, she broke every barrier between human and animal. Her instinctive act of compassion left everyone stunned and emotional. At number 8, whale protects scientist from shark. While out in the ocean doing her usual research, scientist Nan Hauser found herself in an unexpected situation that still blows her mind. She was swimming, focused on her work, when out of nowhere a humpback whale started pushing her through the water. At first, Nan was freaked out. She had no idea what this massive creature was doing or why it was so insistent on guiding her around. But as she looked around, she noticed something that made her stomach drop. A huge tiger shark was lurking nearby. That's when it hit her. The whale wasn't just being friendly or curious, it was trying to protect her. The massive creature had spotted the shark before Nan even knew it was there.
There's a big tiger shark up there.
Yeah?
Yeah, right there.
The whale wasn't just swimming with her, it was pushing her away from the danger, guiding her back toward the safety of her boat. Now, Nan has spent her whole life studying whales, so she knew they had some pretty fascinating behaviors. But this was something else entirely. She had heard of whales protecting seals from orcas, but witnessing something like this, a whale saving a human from a shark, was beyond anything she had ever imagined. Though she'll never fully know what goes on in a whale's mind, Nan is convinced of one thing. Whales have an incredible, almost mysterious sense of altruism. That humpback whale wasn't just helping, it was saving her life. Number 9, dolphins to the rescue. It's tough to defend ourselves against giants like sharks, but just like the whale, other sea creatures have stepped in to rescue surfers injured by sharks. In 2007, Todd Endris, a surfer from Monterey, California, found himself facing a nightmare beyond belief. While out on the waves, he was attacked by a monstrous great white shark, which struck him not once, but 3 times. The first attack tore the skin off his back, and the second was even worse, as the shark sheared his right leg to the bone. Blood was everywhere, and with each passing second, Todd's chances of survival grew slimmer. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, something incredible happened. A small pod of dolphins appeared out of nowhere. They formed a protective circle around Todd, instinctively pushing him away from the shark and keeping him safe from further attacks. Their presence was nothing short of a miracle. The dolphins didn't just stand by, they actively guided Todd, slowly leading him toward the shore where rescuers and paramedics were waiting. With the dolphins' help, Todd was able to survive the brutal attack, something that seemed impossible just moments before. He later spoke of the profound impact the dolphins had on him, crediting them with saving his life. In a world where survival often depends on sheer willpower, sometimes it's the unexpected heroes of the sea that make all the difference. Last but not the least. Number 10. Cat rescuing a young boy from a huge dog. You don't see this every day. Cats usually get a reputation for being aloof, but Tara the cat shattered that stereotype in the most heroic way possible. When a neighborhood dog suddenly charged at a young boy playing near his driveway, Tara didn't hesitate. In a blink, she launched herself at the dog, driving it off before it could cause any more harm. The entire incident was caught on a home security camera, and honestly, it looked like something out of an action movie. Tara didn't just defend the boy, she chased the dog away with the kind of fierce loyalty you'd expect from a guard dog, not a pet cat. The boy did suffer some minor injuries, but it could have been a lot worse if not for Tara's lightning-fast reaction. The clip went viral almost instantly, and Tara was hailed as a hero across the internet. News outlets couldn't get enough of her, and she even ended up with her own Wikipedia page and fan art. It's one of those moments that makes you completely rethink what animals are capable of, especially cats. Tara wasn't trained for this, she just reacted, and that split-second decision made all the difference. But if there is such a moment where you have come across such compassionate animals, make sure to share them in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, everyone.